the Emo Hour, your weekly power hour of all things emo and adjacent, with your hosts, Katie and Nutty.
Hello and welcome to the Emo Hour. I'm your host, Nani, with my good friend Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hello. Today we're back
We're back.
and doing things.
We sure are.
So let's get into it, Nani. What's making you emo today?
Well, I'm just feeling really proud of myself, and that's what's making me emo. And that is, I can be a procrastinator in life in some ways. And one of the things that I've been procrastinating about is the Tupperwares of clothing and shoes that I have accumulated around my house. And
Mm,
it's from moves. It's been from, I still have stuff from Nashville that I haven't worn in I don't even know how many years. And
years,
so
yeah.
this weekend, and it's been more than just the weekend. I've been chipping at it for probably like a good week now. I have gone through every single Tupperware, every single bin. I've pretty much torn up every corner of my apartment and have gone through and purged items and donated them. And I donated a bunch to the Barkin Basement, actually.
Thank you.
Um,
That funds our local animal shelter that I'm on the board of.
yes, she is. What's your saying? Adopt, don't shop?
That's a pretty common one.
Yeah. And I've given you the ownership of that, or at least that you're the one that introduced me to that saying. And
Really? You'd
then
never heard that before?
no, you were the first one to tell me.
Oh, no, that's like very common.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised you've never heard that before.
Yeah. And so I'm just feeling really emo because I feel so accomplished that I've decluttered my life to such a like wonderful degree, and I just feel really it's awesome. It's a spring, nothing like some really nice weather outside to get you to do some spring cleaning, and I went for it. So that's what's making me emo this week. What about you?
That's great. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment and takes so much time. But it reminds me, I don't know if you've been seeing these TikToks of this woman who's like, welcome to how long does it actually take? Where she
Yes.
does something that she's been procrastinating. And that is very much one of those things. And then she'd be like, total time it took me 36 minutes.
Yeah.
So maybe that was some inspiration for you.
I think you're not wrong. You're totally not wrong because I saw maybe a dude doing that or like it's in that same TikTok realm. And I was actually surprised. I think the reason why I'd been procrastinating is because I thought it was going to take so much time. And guess what?
Mhm.
It didn't.
Yeah.
I
You just
built
got to
it
get
up
it done.
in my head. Yeah. So just feeling great. And it's all out of the house and onto the next home that it'll live another life, hopefully.
Hopefully.
And yeah, I mean, most everything had the ability to be donated. Really, nothing had to be tossed because I kept good care of everything. So
Right.
felt good.
Well, that's good. Spring cleaning time for
Yeah.
sure.
What about you?
Um,
What's making you emo?
well, I was going to go back and forth on a couple things, but really what's making me emo is that it was my birthday on the 13th. And I mean, birthdays make a lot of people emo for a lot of different reasons, I guess. But I'm just going to say it's making me emo because I had a really lovely birthday weekend where, like, we spent some time together. We spent some time with friends. We did a private little wine tasting at my house. Then we went out and about. I had a good friend of mine, my best friend from college, Alicia. She came and visited all weekend. And also got in like some family time and some relaxation time. My husband took care of our daughter a lot to allow me to kind of do whatever I wanted to do. Like it was just a very nice and fun and relaxing and peaceful weekend. Like I feel like I got kind of all the things out of it. So it was great.
And it's so well deserved. I feel lucky because I got to experience that wine tasting with you because that was super cool. And I got to ask a lot of, we don't need to call them dumb questions, but questions
No,
that
they weren't dumb.
like questions I felt dumb asking in front of big groups of people about wine because I'm not an expert. And it was just cool having such a knowledgeable person there um, talk to us about stuff. And then, yeah, like you said, we went out and had a couple too many Jello shots.
Couple too many. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But I'm so glad to hear. Like, I knew that you were going to get some pampering stuff done for your birthday, and I'm happy to hear that it left you with like such a great feeling for the weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just beautiful spring weather too. So we spent a lot of, well, we went down to River Run because it was the closing weekend of River Run, which is one of the lodges here. So they had a live band, but the weather was beautiful. So we went down there 2 days in a row and just like hung out outside and felt the sunshine on our skin. And our daughter kind of ran around. Like it was just a great weekend of, being a Sun Valley person. So made me
Yeah.
appreciate my birthday weekend and my friends and my family and where I live.
Yeah, for sure. It was really great seeing Alicia too, I just have to say.
Yeah, we had a great time. I mean, her and I just we spent a lot of time just catching up because we hadn't like she has 4 kids and I have one, and we just don't like have time where we can just talk one on one very often.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Well, yay, I'm so happy that you had such a great birthday weekend. And I was glad I was able to be a part of it and celebrate it with you.
Yeah, it was so fun.
We're getting older,
So
Katie.
we're not getting any younger, that's for
We're not
damn sure.
not getting any younger. Well, so we know we teased it last week, but our interview with Mark Oliver, we decided to push it one more week. So we're gonna have him on the podcast next week. We can't wait for it. He's such a special human and talented musician. We can't wait to talk to him and can't wait for you guys to hear his story. But this week, we need to focus on something very important. That is, Katie, you went to the Sphere, you went to Vegas, you did so many things that I feel like we just
Did
need
a
to
lot of
hear about.
things.
Yeah, you did so many, you went to some emo shows. So let's get into it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I just talked about how, like, my birthday weekend was great. It was very relaxing, which is exactly what I needed because we went to Mexico and then I went to Vegas and I needed a relaxing weekend for my birthday. So, I also kind of feel like I've been celebrating my birthday for like the past month, even though they weren't necessarily birthday celebrations. But,
You know,
that's just kind of,
that's so true. We've been like traveling and partying and living such a great big life lately, which that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's true. So, my husband Travis loves Vegas. Like he would love to go twice a year if that was an option, which he usually kind of makes that happen. He goes at least once a year. We wanted to go together, and I wanted my dad to go because the Eagles are at the Sphere, and the Eagles is one of my dad's favorite bands, and it's a band that I very much grew up listening to. So it's, they hold a special place in my heart too. So the Eagles have been having a residency at the Sphere for months. They keep on expanding, keep on expanding, keep on expanding. And they actually just did again. They just announced some more dates
I
in
saw that.
September, October, and November.
Wow.
Because actually, my birthday weekend, this last weekend, was supposed to be the end of it. And then they announced even more dates.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, it was sold out when we went. So my dad, Travis, and I all went, and we went to the we Vegas was great. I mean, we just kind of the day that my dad was there before the Eagles, we just went to a bunch of different bars, grabbed a drink, walked around a lot, went to Old Town, walked around, had some amazing pizza at Pizza Rock in Old Town. Because my dad is a huge pizza fan. So it was just like a really great day to just walk around and enjoy being somewhere else and enjoy the nice Vegas weather.
Yeah, did you walk like one of the craziest things about Vegas I always think about every time I'm there is how like the Vegas is such an illusion. You think you're like a 2-minute walk from a building. That's more like a
Right.
20-minute walk. Did you
Yeah.
guys walk all the way to Old Town or did you?
Oh no.
Okay.
No, we took a car to
Okay.
Old Town. That
Okay.
would be a lot.
Yeah, it would be a lot.
Um, yeah. But we no, we walked around Old Town though. So we took a car there, took a car back. We went to the beer park, which is like has a great view of the Bellagio fountains and like enjoyed the sun and watched the Bellagio fountains, like very much had a Vegas experience, right? And then that night we went to the Sphere, and walking up to the Sphere is pretty wild in and of itself because you see it kind of everywhere when
Right.
you're in town, right? You can see it from everywhere, and it's just like, that's a weird thing. So we were walking in, and Travis and I were by far quite a bit younger than many others. Let's just put it that way.
Don't you love
Um,
when you're in those situations? You're like, I am young. I'm still very young.
yeah, and my dad pointed that out pretty early. He's like, "You guys are the only ones here that are our age," which of course is not the case because the Sphere holds like 18,000 people or something. Um, but it was a sold out show, so I got us seats, which I bought that day off of either StubHub or SeatGeek, which the fees for buying secondhand are just insane. Maybe we should have a whole episode about that. But I got us great seats in section 307, which I had heard 306 is kind of prime viewing. So we were right next to that. So we were up a little bit higher, but you get a better experience of the Sphere that way, in my opinion.
I think
Um,
like you guys had the money seats. Your angle looked amazing.
yeah, it was awesome. So, the Eagles are old. A lot of them are in their 70s. One of them has passed away. The Eagles sing Hotel California. They sing Take It Easy. They sing Life in the Fast Lane. Like there's so many iconic songs,
I forgot
at
about,
least in my opinion.
yeah. No, thanks for naming those because I forgot about some of those. We all know and love them, but sometimes you forget who is the artist behind it.
Yeah. And one of the main, I mean, Don Henley, who's the drummer and singer, is kind of like the picture of the Eagles because he's also been in the band since its inception, and there's documentaries and stuff. I mean, the history of the Eagles is pretty wild if you really dive into it because I kind of the rumor is that Don Henley's maybe not the nicest person in the world and like kicks
Oh,
people out basically if they're not like up to par. But so the biggest members of the Eagles that were like the most popular over time were Don Henley and Glenn Frey. Glenn Frey passed away like 10 years ago. So it's been some time he's been gone. In his place, after he passed away, his son, Deacon Fry, stepped in. So Deacon Fry is like 31 years old, if I remember correctly. So
okay.
obviously, I mean, he's decades younger than everybody else.
Bring in some
But
youthful energy.
yeah. So to replace Glenn Frey, it was Deacon Fry and Vince Gill, who Vince Gill is a country music artist in his own right and has
That's
his own stuff.
right.
Yeah. So both of those two guys stepped in and basically split Glenn Frey's role, so they split the songs that Glenn Frey sings on, depending on which one it is. But it's like seeing Vince Gill at the Sphere was cool. And Timothy B. Schmidt is another member in it. It's been a member for a long time. And Joe Walsh is another one. And Joe Walsh has some solo stuff that he's
Yeah.
done over the years that they performed too. They performed a couple of Joe Walsh songs, like "In the City" is a big Joe Walsh one. And Joe Walsh has such a weird and distinct voice. But anyway, all that's to say is like every single song that they played was just an iconic song, but really the experience was the Sphere. And you said when you were there, people were up and dancing around. And again, it's a different age group, generally speaking.
Right.
So everyone was seated. But it's hard to explain. Like you explained it, other people had explained it to me, but experiencing it is just so much different that you just have to experience it, like to really understand how cool it is because it's just the sound is awesome. I think at one point Don Henley said there was like 160,000 speakers in there.
What?
So it's like every seat I feel like is so well engineered for sound because there's so many speakers everywhere that it doesn't sound too loud. It just sounds amazing. You can also talk to the person that you're sitting next to without having to like scream at them. So like the technology behind the Sphere, I don't even know. The
It's
sound engineering that's happening, it's incredible.
Yeah, you just actually brought up a really good point that I didn't think about too, is that, well, I so agree with you. At no point was it ever too loud. It was like so balanced. Everything, because I never even thought about the fact that I could lean over to Shelly and talk to Shelly. But the thing, I think one of the biggest differences too between your show and the show that I went to is, and for if anybody didn't listen to that episode, I went to go see Anima, the DJ. So it was like a very EDM focused experience, but he never talked. Like there was no talking.
Oh, right.
So I
Yeah.
didn't even think about like if somebody, one of the band members was speaking from stage, you could probably hear it crystal clear.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
so cool because so many times artists speak from stage and it's muffled, or there's so many people in the crowd that you can't totally figure out what they're saying. It's probably like they're talking right to you because the way that
Yeah.
everything's so balanced.
Yeah. And that's when he said, I hope it sounds good because there's, 160,000 speakers in here or
What?
something like that.
That is crazy.
Um, and they also made some jokes about their age. At one point, I think it was Don Henley again, was like, I hope you guys are enjoying your night. At our age, we're happy to be here, but we're also just happy to be anywhere.
Oh God.
It's like, yeah, okay. So, I mean, all the graphics for each different song were so cool. And it's just so wild to be like looking down at the band. And then sometimes the band is on the screen. And then you're looking up, and there's other things happening above you. And there's things happening to your left. And there's things happening to your right. And there's just all this stuff to take in. Like, I just felt like we were just sitting there taking it in. Like, I was singing along, I think, but not that much because I was just taking it in, which was so cool. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you have a chance to go enjoy the Sphere, please do. And if you are a fan of the Eagles, it was totally worth it. It certainly costs a fair amount of money, but it was so worth it. One thing that I've been telling people some people have said they think it's an interesting take, so maybe you and some other listeners will, but like U2 was one of the first ones that had a residency, and Dead and Co. And I think both of those are doing concert videos now, or concert movies.
Oh yeah.
So you can go to the Sphere and watch a concert movie where the band is not actually present. And I think they should do that for every single band, every single one that's there, because it makes it cheaper, more accessible, and having the band there was obviously cool, but it's kind of just a perk. Like it's the Sphere that's the experience.
Right.
So not having the band there really wouldn't change your experience that much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I hope that they do more of that. My brother made a point when I said that. He's like, I agree with that, but people might not be as compelled to make a trip to Vegas to go watch a concert movie. And I was like,
Right.
that's fair.
Yeah, because
But
you're not hearing the music live and you're not seeing, the physical band. But I agree with you. Like the reason I went to the Anima show was not necessarily to hear him play live. It was to experience like I don't even know what the word is, but just like the immersive experience that is the Sphere, and kind of getting it from all angles. It's larger than life. And I don't use that
mhm.
in a punny way because Backstreet Boys are going to be there,
Oh
but
yeah,
but truly, like, it's larger than life. It's
right.
yeah, that's so cool. I'm really stoked that you got to go do that with your dad and your husband. That's a really special experience.
Yeah, and my dad loved it. Like that's Vegas is not his deal at all, but he loves the Eagles, and he spent a short period of time in Vegas because he flew out before we did.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a very unique lifetime experience.
hmm
Absolutely.
I
And
have to ask you one other question before we stop talking about the Sphere, because I know you went to some other really amazing stuff. But the visuals that the Eagles had, did you feel like it fit the set properly? Like, did you, because for Anima, like, it was all about the visuals and they were unbelievable and crazy. I've seen some videos of like when Dead and Co were there that looked really cool, or just the different shows that have been there. And I'm curious, like, did it live up to what you were hoping it would be? Like, was it everything you were wanting?
it was, I mean, because I didn't even really know what to actually expect. Because again, even though it's been explained to me, like just being there is so much different. I think probably the visuals that you saw were probably more engaging and interesting, I would bet,
hmm
because I just think that was more of the focus. But every song had a different situation, and they certainly had some like optical illusion type things. Like Life in the Fast Lane is one where it's a car, and it's like a younger couple in this car that's like cruising down the Vegas Strip, and you're like following along with them. And so that's cool because you kind of feel like you're doing that. And there was another part where there's a car like coming towards you, and it does like look like it's coming out of the screen and like coming at you.
Oh,
And that was
cool.
kind of wild. And then like Hotel California is such a weird song and the lyrics are so weird that they matched the weirdness with the visuals because like the part that goes um welcome to Hotel California, such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely face, is you look up and there's all these like heads in masks that are singing it to you. And
What?
it's just like creepy and weird. But that song is creepy and weird. So
Yeah.
it totally makes sense. And the other thing I was going to say about the Sphere is like the entire experience is curated from walking in the door to walking out the door.
Yep.
And just the way that everything is set up, the bar, like it's just so detail oriented. It's so curated. It's such a cool thing to do.
You brought up
So,
a really another point that I have to ask is what did you go to the bathroom while you were there?
yes.
Was what was the darkness level of like the entryway where you get drinks in the bathroom? I'm wondering if my experience was a lot darker than yours or if it was the same.
It was all pretty dim, I would
Okay.
say, which I think is good because I don't want to go into a bathroom where it's like, overhead, whatever lighting,
Fluorescent. Yeah.
fluorescent. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't because I wasn't sure if they were able to also change the ambiance outside of the venue, like still in the venue, but outside of the actual concert venue on all the different floors. Because there's like you take multiple escalators up to get to where you're going. There's like it feels like hundreds of bars, all sorts of
Hmm.
different restrooms, and everything is like it's nice because you don't have to walk far to get anywhere. Each pod of the
Hmm.
venue really has its own bar, restroom access point, merch. Like there's just a lot of everything for everyone. So you're never waiting too long, which is awesome for the experience of a concert goer.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, there's a lot of thought put behind everything,
Yeah.
which was very, very apparent. So, I mean, highly recommend. You mentioned Backstreet Boys is going to be there this summer. Kenny Chesney is also going to be there this summer. The Eagles, like I said, just announced some new dates in September, October, and November.
Hmm.
I'm curious if they'll keep extending because, like I said, this is the fourth or fifth time they've extended their dates already.
That's so cool.
Um, and then Dead and Co, I think there again, there's concert videos, like or concert movies, there's just all kinds of stuff going on. So whether it's a trip to Vegas to go to the Sphere or a trip to Vegas and you also go to the Sphere, I don't want to say it's a once in a lifetime experience because you can certainly go back,
Right.
but
And we know people who
it
have.
for a lot of people it may be a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Well, I'm happy to hear you had such a fun time because when you have a fun time and you want to share that with friends or family or whatever, and then they go and they have their own version and it's just as cool. Like it's nice to know that it wasn't like a one off, right? Sounds like everybody's
Yeah.
having their own very cool experience version of the Sphere, and hopefully you and I can go see it for another show, whether it's Kenny Chesney or the Backstreet Boys, because I'd go to both.
I
Um,
know those are both just during the summer.
I know
I
it's so
hope those
hot.
dates are extended.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
I
do
don't think
too.
they've extended too far on
Yeah,
either of those.
yeah.
Maybe they've added a few, but nothing too crazy.
So wait, what else did you do when you were there? Because you did some emo music.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people told me ahead of time that, the Sphere is going to ruin every other concert experience for you, basically. And I get that, but again, kind of what I was talking about, like the Sphere was the experience. It was less about the concert, honestly, for me.
Right.
And I think for a lot of people, it's more about the experience than it is about the live music.
Yeah.
So my dad flew out of Vegas on Saturday, and Travis and I stayed. And I, like, again, for him, I think that was the perfect amount of time for him to be there. And then Travis and I, like, did a little shopping. But I had found out that the following day, so Saturday, when we were there, one of my favorite bands, a band that you love too, Underoath, was going to be performing
Yeah.
in Vegas. And I was like, oh my God, I've never seen Underoath before. I was supposed to see them in high school on my birthday in Boise, or like at least on my birthday weekend with Emery. Like it was going to be the show of a lifetime for me, honestly, but
Yeah.
they canceled.
Uh,
So that was the only time I was ever like had tickets to go see them. So anyway, I saw Underoath was going to be in Vegas. And I was like, we have to go to this. But Underoath was opening for Rise Against. and Papa Roach, which are
Freaking Papa Roach.
two bands that I enjoy, but not necessarily two bands that I would buy tickets to go to a show.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm so with you. I would pay to go see Underoath, but no, not the others.
Yeah. So they played at the MGM Garden Arena, which is like a pretty decent sized arena. Um, and it's my first time seeing Underoath. It was a week after they just released their new album. So, for me, who loves Underoath mostly for the nostalgia, um, mostly for songs that came out 20 to 25 years ago, I already knew that it wasn't going to be like the best show for me because they're the first opener. So I was like, they're going to play for 30 to 45 minutes,
Right.
and they're definitely going to be highlighting some of their newer songs, which I had listened to their new album and I like it. It's just, it doesn't hit the nostalgia that I was hoping. So that's exactly what it was. They played a lot of new stuff, only played like two of their older songs, but they rocked. Like they had so much energy, so much. They were rocking out. Like Spencer Chamberlain, who's the singer, was out on the catwalk and he was just screaming his guts out and he was dancing around and running around. And the guy playing the keyboard, I wish I knew all their names off the top of my head, but I don't. The guy playing the keyboard was just like constantly like headbanging, like aggressively.
I think
And
that guy is the one that I was referencing in that story a long time ago about standing next to the dude
mhm,
in Under Oath and not realizing that he was under oath. I had that moment,
yeah.
but oh my God, this I wish I was there hearing you talk about this.
I mean, the energy level was just so good. And then Aaron Gillespie, I think is how you say his name. That could be wrong.
I don't know.
Who's the drummer? Obviously, like he's a pretty major part of Under Oath. People tend to know him. Like he was rocking out, and then the guy playing guitar, I don't know his name. He was wearing shorts, which I thought was so interesting and just something that you don't see very
He's got
often.
to keep his legs cool.
And at first, I was like, is he just in his underwear? Like, is this a dare? But I started like Googling more pictures and watching more videos, and I think he wears shorts a lot. So,
He's just
so
like
I think,
Gorby. We have a friend here who, regardless of the time of season, time of year, he wears shorts, even in the dead of winter.
I mean, my husband wears shorts like not as much as Gorby, but yes, same. But they were like kind of short shorts. I thought they were boxer briefs at first.
Oh,
Like, I don't know. I think he just gets hot, so
huh.
great. And he's kind of like a thicker guy too, so he had like some meaty legs on him. I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
You do you, boo.
I was about to
But
say
they
something
did.
inappropriate, but that's okay. Like, okay, daddy.
Hey, that's not inappropriate. But they just rocked. Like it was, even though they played music that maybe doesn't like touch me as much as some of their older stuff, it
Hmm.
was so enjoyable and they sounded so good. They brought the energy, like they were rocking out for the 30 minutes that they had, And 30 minutes is not a long time.
No,
But it was a great start to the show, and then Rise Against came out, and they were great and super fun too. And that's not a band that I've listened to a ton,
same.
but they played Swing Life Away, which is, classic emo song. And they introed that by talking about Warp Tour. They're like, this is for all you guys who went to Warp Tour back in the day. And then they played Swing Life Away. Um, and then it was Papa Roach, who I'm even less familiar with. But they were great too. Like everybody was just rocking out and having a good time. And I told you this already, but we decided to leave like during the encore before the last song, which I knew it was like the last song is going to be Last Resort because that's their biggest song.
Right.
But we were just like kind of done, ready to go.
When you were trying
Wanted to
to
kind of
beat the crowd, because
trying to beat the crowd.
you were at, remind me, the MGM Theater. It's like, but it's
We were at the
huge.
MGM Garden Theater, which is massive. Yeah.
In my
And just
brain, you were
what?
in a much smaller venue. And so when I was talking to Trav, your husband, about the show, I actually Googled it and it's like tens of thousands of people. It's a huge venue.
It's a pretty big, yeah. I mean, it's an arena. Like
Yeah,
it felt like we were in an arena in Boise, not like a football stadium arena, but it's an arena. And since neither of us were terribly interested in Papa Roach, we're just like, let's go beat the crowd. It was during the encore, so we honestly left like one song earlier, a song and a half early.
No.
And then, and I knew, I said it to Travis as we were leaving. I was like, the last song's going to be Last Resort. That's probably up next. And then the next day, I was on my phone and I saw that Carrie Underwood came out and performed Last Resort with Papa Roach, and we missed it. I'm just like, what?
As a lover of like you and your alternativeness, it makes me so sad that you didn't get to see the like definite, well, I mean it's not alternative, but country and like rock together.
Yeah.
Uh, I've had
You
one of
mean,
those moments too. I've never told you this, but I walked out of the gorge. I was seeing Coldplay back when I was in high school, and I walked out of the gorge to beat the traffic essentially because it's just such a bottleneck there. And as I was walking out, they played Clocks, which is one of my favorite songs, and they had the
mm,
most amazing laser show that they saved until the very end. And I was like,
yeah,
no. And it
yeah.
was just too late.
I mean, I wasn't that upset about it. I'm not really a Carrie Underwood fan. Like, I think she has a beautiful voice. I think she's a great performer, but
Right.
she's not somebody that I seek out and listen to. It just is such a weird combination
Yeah.
that but Carrie Underwood does have a residency in Vegas, so it makes
Right.
sense because she's there.
Right.
But I just saw that on my phone and I just was like, "Are you kidding?" And we missed it. Like that would have been cool to see and to say to be able to say that we saw it, you know.
uh
But I wasn't terribly upset about it.
yeah. Well, that sounds like such an amazing trip.
It
Family,
was, and then
music.
the next day was pool day until we flew out, so that was also amazing.
I'm glad you got some pool time too. I'm super excited. I think I told you this, but I'm gonna go down to go see Bob Moses, my favorite,
Hmm.
in Vegas in a few weeks with one of our mutual friends, and go experience some pool version of Vegas because I didn't get any of that last time, and I was literally there for like a hot second. It was
Right.
just there for the sphere. But man, what an amazing few weeks you've had. Celebratory, birthday, travel, friends, family. That's
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
it's been great. I mean, the first 3 months of the year were very much a work grind, and I'm still busy enough at work. Don't get me wrong, I've got plenty going on, but it
Yeah.
was nice to be able to like have some fun. And it's spring weather, which just kind of, for me and for a lot of people, brings out, some good positive feelings.
And
So
cleaning.
that's all been really nice. And
And
cleaning, yes,
cleaning.
exactly. Full circle.
Love that. Well, yay. Well, thanks for sharing your experience. That was super cool. And it makes me ponder a bunch more things. Like it makes me want to go back to the spheres for another experience because I want to see what it would be like the next time.
I mean, I think that they do a nature documentary thing
Yeah.
almost every single day. If
Yeah.
you just wanted to go and like see it, I mean, that's not going to be as exciting,
Yeah.
but it's also a lot cheaper to go
Yeah.
do something like that.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for something super cool for hopefully you and I or whoever to go, if it's Backstreet Boys or Kenny or whoever else gets announced soon.
I think they're going to be announcing a lot more, honestly, coming
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So,
I would imagine. Hey, by the way, is Underoath, you might know this question, but are any of those bands that you saw, are they playing Warp?
that's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head.
For some reason,
I
I feel like
think
Underoath might be, because that'd be sweet
I
for
would,
us to see them.
yeah. And I feel like Rise Against could too. I don't think Papa Roach would,
Yeah.
but Rise Against might.
Yeah, for sure. Well, should we get into our emo lyric of the day?
Yeah, let me go first.
Okay, yeah,
So,
do it.
I mean, Underoath was who I went to go see, but Papa Roach has some great emo lyrics, let me tell you.
Really?
And when we were walking, we got to the venue actually pretty early. So we did like a full walk around the entire arena, which was great because we found the merch booth on the like behind the stage
Oh,
that
yeah.
there was hardly any line at because the other merch booth was at the very front and there was a long line. So I'm glad we did like a full walk around just because we had the time. And then we made some friends at the bar over on that side too, because they just weren't as busy as the ones at the front.
Love that. Did you,
Um,
by the way, did you get any merch?
no, I didn't. They only had one Underoath shirt, and I just like didn't love it. Travis did. He got a Papa Roach hat and a Rise Against shirt. So,
You
so
know,
there you go.
not to sidebar this, but you brought up a good point. You know that there's limitations on everything when you're support on tour, down to how many t-shirts that you can sell at the merch stand.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, why do they only have one shirt? Because they're only allowed to have one shirt.
No, I guessed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they would have had more choices, I would have gotten an Underoath something, I'm sure. But
Yeah,
I'll just have to go see them again when they're headlining.
for sure.
Because that would be more of a show for me anyway, because they play more of their older stuff too, which I would love to see.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, as we were walking around and I was looking at the Papa Roach merch, I was like, that's my email lyric of the day. I got it.
Love it.
Because they had at least one shirt, maybe more, that just say, I tear my heart open just to feel, from their song Scars.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I can already tell you that you're going to win because mine's not that good.
But can I read you that's part of the intro of the song? Can I read you the whole intro too?
Please do.
Because the whole intro is so emo, but I wanted to highlight that specific lyric. But the whole intro to that song, Scars by Papa Roach, is I tear my heart open, I sew myself shut, and my weakness is that I care too much. And my scars remind me that the past is real. I tear my heart open just to feel.
Oh my gosh. That is so emo.
So emo.
You know,
So emo.
we talked about this with 220 Kid a little bit, but it's what a gift, like what a cathartic therapy, however you want to reference it, but like what a gift songwriting is for the people who are writing it because it is such an outlet. And then what a gift for the people listening to it that might be going through a rough time or whatever that are really relating to these lyrics. Yeah, that's wild. It is so emo though.
Yeah. And I saw that on the shirt and I thought to myself, that's my emo lyric of the day. That's it.
Hell yeah, it
Found
is.
it.
Oh my God, that's so good. Well, mine is from an Underoath song, Reinventing Your Exit, and
Such a good one.
so good. And I just love Underoath, but I don't know if this is the best emo lyric of the day. You know me, I always start to talk myself out of my emo lyric of the day as soon as I start to read it to you. But it goes, stop saying that we're invincible. You're uninviting, unrewarding, and I'm misinforming you. Right? We can hear that. I can hear that so well. But reading it, I'm like, God, that's kind of mean.
It's kind of mean.
Like more mean than I realized. So I don't know. It caught me. And so I decided that was going to be my emo lyric of the day. But guess what? You win.
Well, thank you.
I forget the
Papa
name of it.
Roach,
It was
baby.
Papa Roach, but what was the song again? Scars?
Scars.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
can I tell you the name of this tour too? Is called the Rise of the Roach Tour.
Did they just have like roaches at any point, like coming out in the imagery?
I don't think so. No, I don't
Oh
recall that.
my
But
God.
the Rise of the Roach.
The Rise of the Roach.
Yeah.
Somebody came up with that and they're like, this is so good, we can't not use it.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh my God. Well, in the spirit of our exit of Emo Hour, I'm going to start playing Scars because you are the winner of the emo lyric of the day.
Listen to these words, man. It's emo.
I sew myself shut.
Oh my God.
My weakness is that I care too much, and my scars remind me that the past is real. I tear my heart open just to feel drunk and I'm feeling.
Oh my God. All right. Well, have a wonderful Wednesday. Happy hump day. And we'll see you next week. Like, subscribe, share the podcast. Anything else, Katie?
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Emo Hour. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.